Knowledge is power, knowledge is strength, knowledge is wealth, it makes you courageous. And this is the Jugalbandi formula that you should practice in life. Welcome all of you to yet another episode, The Body and the Mind. Hello and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
As per the Hindu mythology, there is something called the Trimurtis. What are Trimurtis and what is the significance of yoga in conjunction with these Trimurtis? How can you help us in the day-to-day life? How can it help us in our day-to-day life?
Yeah.
That's what we'd like to know.
First of all, there is nothing called Hindu and Hinduism basically.
Okay.
India has a very rich and fantastic heritage and a culture. And this was being followed by the people. And they were actually living near the river Sindhu, And the people who came from outside, they addressed them as who were living and following this type of system. They were called the Sindhus. Gradually, they came to be called as Hindus.
Oh.
And whatever they practice came to be called as Hinduisms. Someone calls you a monkey, you need not call yourself a monkey. You have a fantastic heritage. The essence or culture of India is dharmic principles of life. It's called the Sanatana, means universal principles of every human being that we need to follow.
Okay.
Since we have been called, and many of us also proclaimed to be that, it became like isms. Ism has only brought egoisms. All isms have only egoisms. It is me, I, and those things. When you compare this with any other, you become only a part of the other. Whereas the Indian culture and heritage is universal in its approach.
Okay.
Whether you see a chanting of the mantra, everything is universal. It never says only for my country, for my people I pray. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Let the whole world be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kashit dukkha bhag bhavet. Let all be happy. Let all be healthy. Let auspiciousness be pervading all over the world. Let none suffer in this world. The Indian system is basically universal essence of knowledge to help every human being to develop their inner personality. Thereby they understand themselves much better. They understanding themselves helps them to understand others also much better. If you see in India, this country has not gone to any other country to fight. They have only been attacked. Thousands of years if you take, India has only been attacked. But those all who attacked has merged into the system. It's a beautiful ocean where everything merges. Coming to the concept or the science of life. If you see Trimurtis, you have been asking, what is this Trimurti? Trimurti means, basically if you see, there are three forms of energy operating in all of us. Three forms. We call it as the creative energy. We call it as the maintenance energy. We call it as the dissolution energy. Dissolution. That brings in changes in life. See, if you just see from morning till night, you're always thinking about a creative thought. Like what I should do tomorrow, how I should make it better. These are the creative thoughts which is always going on in the mind. That's a creative energy operating in you.
Okay.
Otherwise, you may be thinking about the maintenance energy, how to eat today, where to eat, what to eat, how I have to pay my bill, my rent I have to pay, the tax I have to pay. So you are always thinking about maintenance also. It's called maintenance energy. You're also thinking of bringing in changes in your life. That's one thing permanent in the world is change.
It has to happen.
Every moment is changes. So these three energies are the dominant energies in this world. It's a science. Even if a TV used to see, three colors is what brings in all other colors. So our system is based on a science. See, if you observe, to a common man, if you tell him creative maintenance and dissolution, he's not bothered about it. He says, sir, give me some job, I will do my job. Give me some money, I need. He's not worried about your creative or maintenance or dissolution. So these energies are formulated or given a form. Now, for example, in the junction, in the traffic junction, one person comes and says, Srijit, there is a ferocious lion in the junction. You are a person who do not know what is a lion. You have not seen a lion. You have not seen a picture of a lion. No one has told you about a lion. So the moment a person comes and says about lion, what will you say? Lion, very nice. What a lion. Because you do not know. For the mind to grasp, it should have a form. So though the energies are there, they need to have a form. Now for example, I do not know you. You give me a call, I am Srijit. Tell me who's Srijit? Srijit. It will not be there because it's not registered in my mind. So anything for a human brain to perceive, it needs to have a form. So these energies, we call it as the creative, maintenance and dissolution energies, are having a beautiful form, personifying how it can be applicable to understand for a human being. So this creative energy is called Brahma. Brahma is the creative energy, symbolism or representation. Creative energy in you and in the whole world. That energy is dominant. Vishnu, we say, is the maintenance energy. Ananda Shayana, the water. Life started in the water. You know why? If you see our own human structure, if you observe, we say the globe of the earth, if you observe, first we have the earth strata. Above the earth you have water. Above the water is all life. When the sun rays hits, there's junction between the water and the heat, there is life. Above that you have the atmospheric air for breathing, and above it is space. This is how the earth is constituted. See our own constitution, we are a miniature of the earth. We say from the waist it is the earth strata. Above the waist all your waters are here. Every water is in this space. Your navel is where life started. Because this is where the heat energy, this is called the Manipura chakra. This is where called the fire, digestive fire is here. When the heat and the water, this is where the mother's connection, where life started. Got it? This is where water and the heat is there. This is where how much ever you eat is all digested because of the digestive fire operating. And above this you have your lungs, which is the atmospheric air representation by your lungs, where you have the power to breathe. Above this there is nothing, it is called space. So we are all a representation of the earth. Now this energy is dominant not only in you and me, in every creature in this world. Creation, maintenance, dissolution. Vishnu is in Ananda Shayana, water. Ananta is timeless. It's timeless. And all the devatas there are representation of certain energies for maintenance required in day-to-day life. If you see in Vishnu lying down pose, you have one lotus coming up and Brahma is here. The creation is here from the navel. That's what it represents. You understood? So that is the maintenance energy. Shiva we call, or Maheshwara, as the energy that brings in changes. There's no end to it. Starting and the end. There's no starting and the end for Shiva. In stories you would have heard. But why? Because this energy is a continuous thing. There's no end to it. Got it? Now, these three energies are dominant in us. And these are called Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva.
Polestar Marine Engineering Private Limited. Pioneers in welding solutions. Experts in repair of engine parts and components. Specialists in oil field repairs and services. Polestar, committed quality assurance and on-time delivery.
Now let us say, for our understanding, this is a tissue box. The whole world is matter.
Matter.
Whole world is matter. Right? Now, this tissue box will be representing the essence of matter.
Okay.
Now, this matter, now I am going to use a certain force on this matter. You have to tell me what type of energy I am using, whether it is a creative energy, or a maintenance energy, or a dissolution energy. Now, one energy I am going to use. You have to tell me what energy it is, okay?
You're destroying it.
It's a dissolution energy. It's not a destruction, it's basically bringing in changes in the shape of this tissue box or matter. So what is this energy called? Brahma, Vishnu or Shiva?
Dissolution.
So what? Maheshwara or Shiva?
Correct.
Shiva. Now, this energy, when it's operating on matter, it brings in changes in matter. A tree has its flowers, then fruits. It changes, so in matter, continuous changes are happening.
Okay.
So this energy is called Shiva, and matter is called what? Situations around is called Prakriti. Right? Nature. Prakriti is called Parvati. That's why Shiva has to be with Parvati.
Oh.
Without Parvati, energy of Shiva is useless. Without Shiva, Parvati, there's no changes in the world of nature. So they are husband and wife, they live together, they are a consort. That's why Shiva is with Parvati. We call it as husband and wife, because then only there is happening things.
Nature and change in nature.
That energy operating in nature brings in changes. So Shiva and Parvati. Now the same tissue box, I am trying to make it neat, maintain it beautifully. So I am maintaining it. This maintenance energy is called what? Vishnu. For me to maintain, my hand should have life. For my hand to have life, I should be keeping it in good shape. I should be eating, maintaining myself. So I have the energy to maintain. No, for me to eat, maintain myself, what I should have? What I should have? Money. So Vishnu's consort is who?
Lakshmi.
Mahalakshmi. That's why Vishnu's wife is Lakshmi. Without Lakshmi, you can't maintain. You understood? You can't maintain. So they are husband and wife. Now, the same tissue box, I am going to make a house out of it. Beautiful house. I have the energy to do, but what is lacking for me not to do it? It is my knowledge about it. So Brahma's consort is whom?
Knowledge.
Saraswati. That's why Brahma is Saraswati. You understood? So these energies have their own counterparts. Then only things will happen. So Shiva is with Parvati, Vishnu is with Mahalakshmi, Brahma is Saraswati. Now Brahma has 4 heads. We may think, what your God is having 4 heads? What nonsense. Actually, it is the highest of knowledge that you need to have. Every human being in this world, irrespective of caste, creed, nationality, religion, they need to have 4 knowledge in life to live. One is called welfare. You should know how to take care of yourself, take care of your dear and near ones, the society, the world. Then you are doing something. Welfare. You can live your life. Secondly, everyone should know how to defend and administer things in life. It's called defense and administration. Third is called finance and financial management. Fourth is called pleasures or enjoyment. So welfare, defense and administration, finance and financial management, and pleasures. Like it can be fine arts, music, dance. We all need these entertainments also. So a human being should have 4 creative essence of knowledge to live and sustain and enjoy this world. So welfare, defense administration, finance, financial management, and entertainment or pleasures. This is what is represented by the 4 heads of Brahma. That's why 4 is, we call it as the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, and Sama Veda. These 4 Vedas deals with the 4 divisions of knowledge. Sama Veda deals with pleasures or entertainment. Rig Veda, welfare. Yajur Veda deals with administration and defense, and Atharva Veda deals with finance and financial management. And all other aspects is inculcated in this essence. That's why we call Vedanta. Veda means knowledge, Anta means the end of all knowledge. Everything which is there in the world is there already in this knowledge. You may ask, how did this come from? This is not written by any particular person at one point of time. Now for example, Sridhar, you have a child. You learn so many things in your life. Will you not share it with your child?
Definitely.
So from father to child, from teacher to disciple, this knowledge has been going on, getting accumulated through ages and ages and ages. And this has been at certain point of time written treatises upon these things. That's why I call Shruti, Smriti, Puranas, Itihasas. This essence of management principles has come as Shrutis in a human being. What is Shruti? Shruti is Apurusha knowledge. It is not a normal human being that is able to bring out the Shrutis. Shruti is, for example, now, you are a person who loves poetry, or you write poetry. You can't write poetry all the time. But at one point of time, sometimes you feel, I just want to write a poem. So you write a poem. Now if I give the poem to 10 people around you, they may give 10 explanations of that poem.
10 viewpoints
of that poem. After 1 month, if you translate the poem, you will write again another explanations. So every time you get this knowledge. So Shrutis are something that has been heard by the great saints and rishis at different point of time. Certain things have come through them at a very higher level of consciousness, which has been written down in verses form by different people at different point of time. They are called the Shrutis. These verses were given explanations, translations like guides, called Smritis. Today you also can read a Shruti and write your own explanations on it according to your viewpoint. So much freedom you have to understand and work on it. So Shruti is the essence of management principles of a human being, which is in a verses form on welfare in Rig Veda and other Vedas accordingly. And these Shrutis were given explanations called Smritis. So it has been given explanations on this, and this is called Smritis. Now, these management principles or guidelines have been given in story form. We call it as Puranas. Today, we are stuck with Puranas only. So we depend more on stories. So this person did this, I am also doing this. We are not going to understand the principle behind. We get stuck to the stories only. If some person asks you an explanation on certain of the Puranas, sometimes you may not be able to give a rational answer. They are just stories given to inculcate the sense of principles at that particular point. And they are called Puranas. Now in plenty of management, corporate companies are adopting Jataka tales. Plenty of these types of stories, because whenever you say a grandmother's story or grandfather telling a story to a small child, there are certain principles behind it.
Morals
behind it. These morals When you tell it in a story form, it never goes off from your mind. The best way to implant the idea into the child or any person for that matter. So Puranas became very prominent and dominant. But we are stuck to the Puranas. We don't understand the base behind it. Then there are itihasas, epics. We have two great epics. One is the Mahabharata and Ramayana. Mahabharata and Ramayana, if you observe, they were people who lived at the time, and if you see whatever problems they have had at that time, today also we are having the same thing. Today also there is fight going on between relatives, brothers, sisters. So many things are happening. The mind which was there thousands of years ago is the same today, only the persons and the situations and people may be different, but the mind is the same. We call it as the microcosmic mind, and the macrocosmic mind is the same. So those epics which were useful and which you can adopt as a management technique is still useful today also. Thereby you learn to manage yourself with the same situation, same surroundings in a much better way, understanding the essence of these principles. That's why we have epics. So these are actually basically the essence of this knowledge is to help a person to practically learn and implement in day-to-day practical life, so he lives the best, gets the best as a human being.
I mean, he can also overcome the barriers.
Everything. That's why I'm telling you, this is a fantastic science. Today, sometimes, some children ask parents, Mama, why do we go to temple? Sit quiet, you just do it. My father did, my grandfather did. You also do. See, to a modern child, the child wants to know science because science and technology has developed. So much of, you also buy and give all the TV channels and everything. So child knows plenty of things. But when they do not know why we do certain things, they may not follow it. So we need to bridge the gap between the ancient science and the modern science, because they are both the same. It is we people who are ignorant about the fantastic science that we have behind. We need to bridge the gap to give the child, a modern child, what is the base of what you are doing now and what it has been previously. It is basically the same. Temple we go, churches we go, mosques people go. There's certain ways of system. Even in the mosque, if it is said, you are supposed to stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder. When you stand shoulder to shoulder, you are actually creating a fantastic magnetic field. And in that magnetic field, the entire essence of your vibrations you have as one pointedness, it's very powerful. But if you sit there and think about your business and problems, so everything there is a methodology. Why we go to temple? It's actually, all the temples if you observe, they are pyramid in shape or dome shape, but the same shape. In this shape, it is an immense cosmic energy can always be sustained there. That's why in India, if you observe, inside places or olden times, all the houses were this. Their fights were less. Because cosmic energy always supports them whenever there is an issue. More and more concrete buildings, more and more of this godly energy is absent.
Lost.
Yeah. People are always in chaos, shouting, yelling, because that energy or the grace is lost. These types of construction has a great impact. Vastu is another science. It's not a blind belief. For example, if you see in a human body, you cannot have the nose here, You should have your nose here only for giving optimum benefit of it. You cannot have 6 or 7 joints. Then you can't have the strength. There should be the particular thing. So your maximum, optimum utility is there.
Right.
Likewise, the earth has its own energy points, and certain areas like east, west, north, south. North is where the earth's magnetic field is there. And all the conducive energies or pranas operate according to these things. In a house when we construct, it's a science because, for example, the pathway, the air, free air should be going on in the house. Otherwise, the air gets stagnant or negative vibrations get focused at certain point. That house will always have negativities. So Vastu Shastra is basically based on how well you can get the best benefit in being conducive to the world of nature in its own dimensions and strength and energies available in the world of nature. It's a science. It's not something, oh, you don't keep your head this side, what is this blind belief they may say. Always say, don't keep your head facing the north when you're sleeping. Because it's actually because Earth's magnetic field is in the north.
And there is actually,
whenever you keep a magnet, what happens is our blood has ions. Ions are nothing but irons. So whenever you keep your head this side, automatically it has an inclination to be attracted towards the Earth magnetic field. So the entire metabolism can be disturbed whenever you are sleeping.
So you should actually sleep facing the sun.
East is the good place side, or the west. These two areas are good, unless of course we can't keep any other area. But when you do a practice, for example, I am doing my yoga practice or something good, or you're talking to a person in a very authoritative way, if you really give a knowledge to a person sitting here and facing north, it will work. Because your energy becomes very dominant when you do things facing north. But when you sleep, you don't keep the head. So this is science basically. If you understand this, you can get the best out of it. Feng Shui is also good. Adjustments, Because those who can't do like anything, like they can't change the house. So certain adjustments we do. We keep water here. Now, for example, your car wheel balancing we do, You can't change the tire immediately. So they apply small gadgets, to balance the wheel. That is what it does, to balance it. Because there's another other thing that you can't do. The Vastu Shastra is a beautiful science. So it's all basically a scientific knowledge rather than a blind approach. Our essence of this culture and heritage is based on science. You got the idea now? Even if you go to a temple, let us say, some temple also, if you observe, they are places of energy. Now let us say a person loves to go to a Shiva temple. There you have this Panchaloka Vigraha or any type. This is actually sanctified, purified and placed according to the Vastu Shastra. And who installs it? A person with a higher consciousness who knows the intricate aspects of these, who installs it. When he installs, he actually purifies it with the best of waters. It can be a tender coconut, honey, all these things, they purify this Loka Vigraha. Now, anything in the world, we say, has life. Now let us say in your own house, we have prayer rooms, let us say. Every day you go and pray at a particular time, or any time you pray. Sometimes when you're upset, you're depressed, you're mentally agitated, if you go and sit in that prayer room, you may get some peace. Why? Because when you were there all these years, or when you were there all this time, your thought vibrations, which is having your own aura of 3 meters in diameter, your thought vibrations of peace and tranquility has already been absorbed by this room. It is always dominant there. However you are disturbed, you go to that room, you feel peace. Now imagine a place which is sanctified for this purpose. So this Vigraha can receive vibrations and give out vibrations.
Both ways.
Both ways. Now a person who tells these are the mantras that is to be chanted every day he chants in the morning, afternoon, evening, you are creating a fantastic vibrations around, wherein these vibrations are settled in the sanctum sanctorium of the temple. Whenever, like you say, suddenly I want to go to this temple, it is your deficiency or depletion of energies that makes you think that I go to that place. And your body has 3 meters in diameter, the bioplastic body, wherein weaknesses or depletion can be there. So the moment you go to that place, you do the pradarshana in that inside, your bioplasmic body, which is already depleted in its energy, gets energized because that particular energy is already existent in abundance because of the vibration. So scientifically, you start getting the best energy back. You feel calm, you feel comfortable, and you feel very happy within, without you knowing what it is. That's why I'm telling you, a common man need not understand. So temples and places of worship are built. You go there, you get the benefit, because he's not bothered about anything. But a person who really wants to know, it's a beautiful science.